I wonder if you know about the 6 degrees of separation. Living in the digital age, I imagine that you've at least heard of it. There's been movies and plays, and the man behind the idea was a Hungarian author in 1929, Frigyes Karinthy. He wrote a short story called Chains, in which a group of people all played a game that proved that everyone, everywhere in the world is separated by no more than 5 acquaintances. I don't know if I believe in Karinthy's idea, but I do know that there was exactly 1 degree of separation between Gerald Lachlan and myself. I never knew him. I never read his poetry or his fiction. He retired from Long Beach long before I ever was a student, but I have heard him. I don't mean that I've heard of him, because while that is true, that's not what I mean. I mean that I've heard him. I've heard his passion for teaching and writing in the voice of my own mentor, Tyler Diltz. Jerry was Tyler's mentor. The first poem that Tyler ever showed me was even called Reading Jerry Lachlan. Tyler taught me how to write a novel. I didn't even know he wrote poetry until Jerry passed away. I had no idea that there was someone out there who pulled pools and paintings and jazz bakeries out from between my mentor's fingertips. I had no idea that my mentor had a mentor. Tyler said that he probably would never even have written a poem were it not for Jerry. But more than that, Jerry taught him how to teach. A great deal of my pedagogy is based on his style of teaching, he said. Central to that is the idea that often the best teaching doesn't actually seem like teaching at all. Jerry was a giant, or at least that's what his colleagues said. A poet, a teacher, a husband, a father. Tyler told me that he started reading Jerry because he had to. And not in some, existential, artistic, the universe compelled me kind of way, and not in, the natal homing of sea turtles and salmon. No, Tyler read Jerry because he was a graduate and Jerry was his boss. But that was 14 years ago when Jerry retired. That was before COVID, before the lockdown, before the pandemic, and that was before the universe compelled Jerry away from this life, decided that the giant had finally outgrown his human skin. Jerry was 79. He taught for 42 years, touched countless lives, and been so many first, second, and third degrees for so many people. All I know of Jerry is from what I've read and what I've seen in the shadow of my own mentor's smile. Jerry is often quoted in saying that he was born to write and born to teach. And he said that his favorite lines were the ones that he couldn't even believe he was capable of writing. The ones that still make me laugh. The ones that come closest to capturing the intensity of my love for my children, my affection for my friends, my gratitude. Lines that I think might last. I don't know if I believe that there are 6 degrees of separation between everyone on Earth. But I do know that Tyler is my mentor because Jerry was his. And I know that Jerry wrote more than 3,000 poems. And I know that I have a lot of reading to do. I'll start with his favorites.